Hello, my name is Ben, and today I will be breaking down the second trailer for Antman and the Wasp by Marvel Studios.
We're gonna die. I don't wanna die. We didn't die!
To start off, the trailer follows the film events in chronological order, so you can see that the film has several different types of scenes and shots. The segment on the timeline marked in orange has some of the longer segments that have pauses from the action, and generally with a funny line or action. This type of scene is common in superhero and action movies as it puts the viewer back in reality and gives a small break in the action just enough to make the action proceeding impactful and not tiring or boring. A few examples of this is in the trailer when there is a 5-second shot of Ant-Man saying,
"She seems more intense."
and another pausing shot looking at Ant-Man through a coffee shop window with people on their laptops, not looking outside at the sliding wrecked truck that Ant-Man is sliding down the road with. As you probably know, CGI is abundant in almost all mid to high budget superhero movies these days. In the case of Ant-Man and the Wasp, the movie had over 500 VFX shots, all done by 13 VFX companies, including D&EG, which this footage is from, Scanline VFX, Method Studios, and Luma Pictures. It took around 8 months for all the effects to be produced by the various VFX houses. If you don't know, visual effects, or in this case CGI, is where 3D software on the computer is used to generate imagery that modifies the initial footage it's being put on to look different. With the nature of it being 3D, it mixes well with real life. The software used to create these effects varies quite a bit from studio to studio, but common ones for their respective places in the pipeline include Maya for everything to do with CG characters, Houdini for simulations, Substance Painter for texturing, and an all-in-one editor like Cinema 4D or Blender for putting it all together. Once you have rendered frames, which can take days to render one frame, each on powerful computers, you take the sequence and composite it onto your footage. So you can see now why it takes so long to make, even with the large workforces that these studios have. There's also a more common digital visual effect in a lot more of these shots than you would have thought. That's because lots of the effects performed on these films are invisible. They are generally there to cut out stunt wires and other filmmaking equipment that would take away from the movie's world, but can also be used for taking away imperfections on an actor's face or objects if the director wants that. When it comes to choosing 3 shots for this segment, it's pretty easy as most shots in the trailer have CGI in them, whether that's invisible or obvious effects. My first one is the truck sliding shot, where Ant-Man slides down the road, failing to stop the truck. My second is the shot of the Wasp pulling herself through the window, as she is completely CG and it is very hard to make that look believable. And my third is the shot of Lucius shouting from the van. It just is so great as it shows you just how little of the city in this film is real sometimes, not even the close cars. That wraps up the VFX segment of this. It's my favourite if you haven't noticed.